because
And
it's the
we
system.
the other thing that happens that's unfortunate is the fact that if you're working retail or one of these jobs where you're not really getting any health benefits or anything, you're not going to the doctor.
Right.
You're not going to the dentist,
That's
right?
another thing.
Because, well, I can't afford to go to the doctor or I can't afford to go to the dentist right now because I'm not making enough. But then all of a sudden, when something goes wrong, which it will,
Hmm.
now it's not, it's way more expensive,
Right.
right? And so then you get the complaints from, the people with money and resources saying, well, yeah, you're showing up at the emergency room with these things instead of just going to the doctor. And you're going, well, yeah, if I had health insurance that wasn't being denied, um,
Right.
I would go to the doctor on a regular basis, but I'm barely making enough money to pay my rent and keep food on the table. And so to walk into, the price of a doctor visit, like when I get my Medicare statements, I'm like, uh, spending 10 minutes in that guy's office and he's charging like $175.
Well, yeah, and well, the other problem with it is that at least it seems to me that even though some jobs I've had insurance, some of those are the really lower wage jobs, the fast food, the service and retail type of jobs.
Hmm.
Those jobs, they specifically cut your hours short just so they don't have to pay you benefits. But then even when you get to a point in any of them jobs or just some of the jobs that I've had in my life, they give you benefits, but then it's like you have a $5,000 deductible. So it's like, yeah, you're giving me benefits, but the doctor visits, and yeah, the doctor visit is maybe 175 and I have to pay, a $50 copay towards that. So it's not like, even though I have insurance and it's like paying for stuff, it's still like
Well,
not paying for enough to where.
the thing is that it's two things. It's the size of the deductible that you have to meet, right? When you're not making much money. And then the other thing is that the copay,
Right.
right? Because if like in your example, you said it was a $50 copay. All right. If you don't have the $50 copay, you're not going to the doctor. It
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't
I just
matter.
for
It
this.
doesn't matter that $50 is only, 20% of what the doctor actually charges.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you don't have the $50.
Right,
Or if
exactly.
that $50 to go to the doctor is the difference between you going to the doctor to have a minor complaint looked at and um, doing something for your kids,
Right. Yeah.
right? Because these are sacrifices that parents make all the time. At least I did.
Yeah.
It would be like, all right, I'm looking at my budget and I'm like, there's something that I wanted, and then there was something that you needed or wanted.
Yeah.
And it would be like, okay, I'll do this for Mark,
Right.
because I'll be able to take care of myself later. That
Yeah.
was always the thought in the back of my head, that I'll be able to take care of myself later. I'll be able to take care of myself later. But even then, there were times that I had to say no.
Right.
It just, and then you think about, all right, not only I'm saying no to you and whatever consequences that's having in your own development, but then I have to then turn around and I have to live with, like I shouldn't have had to say no. That's the thing in my head. Like what am I doing wrong where I have to keep saying no to something that I don't feel like I should have to say no to?